everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. Good evening, and thank you so much for being here with me this evening. Our first show of 2023. I'm super excited about the year. I love the number 23. I was having a big discussion about years and dates, and a friend of mine was saying how she loved how 2022 rolled off of the tongue. And she's like, it's really sad. I won't get that perfect number again until 2044. And somebody said, well, what about 2033? And she's like, no, that doesn't work the same. And I'm like, you have something against threes. I said, I love the number 23. I love how it vibrates for me. So anyway, I love how it's 2023. I love how it rolls off my tongue. So welcome to a brand new year, and hoping for all the magical possibilities that each one of you are anticipating and seeking this year, hoping that all of them come true for you. So this evening I pulled a card for you. I got a new card deck for Christmas. I'm super excited. So I pulled a card deck for all of you out there who are listening, and it was a beautiful card. It is called Offering, and I'm going to hold it up here so that you can see it. It's a beautiful hand, two hands being offering a flower, and absolutely I love all of the artwork that's in this deck. It's really fantastic. But it says, offering, I am peaceful. Let me, divine beloved, offer all desires to you, knowing the right outcomes are already selected. Grant me true surrender and peace. Let me be only a vehicle for your will in every way. So I thought that was fantastic because I was thinking about receiving again. And I know we talked a little bit about it last year with my word for the year being receiving, and it just keeps coming back. So obviously some of you out there are needing to hear all of this. So, getting your wish, your asks granted first starts by asking loved ones, guides, angels, what it is that we are needing and seeking and desiring, right? That is the first step, is to get them involved. And then completely surrender, right? Say, this is what my ask is, and then let it go and let them do their magic on the other side. It doesn't matter what happens between point A and point B. What matters is getting to point B, right? And that's your ask, that's your desire. And then once you get to point B and it's being offered to you, you have to be willing to accept it. And sometimes that is the hardest thing for us to do, is to openly surrender and accept it. We can ask all day long, right? And the universe can bring it to us all day long. But if we're not there to openly receive it, then it is a missed opportunity. It is a missed manifestation. And if you've been working on something for a very long time, it can be very frustrating if you are not in a space or place to be able to receive. So it's like opening a Christmas gift and having an empty box, right? You have to be able to receive what is in that box. And if you're not able to receive what is in that box, maybe it's $1 million. But if you're not able to receive, it's just an empty box, right? So you have to be able to do that in order for all of those dreams, all of those desires to come through. So it's not only in the asking, but it's also in the receiving. And that's such an important part. And sometimes we forget, right? We get our blinders on and we're going down, our everyday path. And sometimes the receiving might be hard and you think, oh, no, when it comes my way, I'm going to be ready and it's going to be great. And then it comes and you go, I don't know what to do with this, right? For some of you out there, this sounds like a very foreign subject, but for some of you out there, you go, oh yeah, I've been there, right? So it's a matter of being ready when the universe is there to grant you your wish, your desire. So when it finally happens, be ready, okay? Be ready and be open to receiving. And it starts with the smallest things. Receiving starts by acknowledging and accepting the small things, right? Compliments, help from a neighbor, right? Just, a simple thank you, right? When someone says something to you or compliments you or gives you, kudos and attaboys, a simple thank you. That's the first step in receiving. And once you can master that, then you can master bigger items on your receiving list, right? So I hope that makes sense and helps you a little bit, because if you are blocking receiving, you're never going to be able to get that huge manifestation, that big ask that you are asking. Okay, so be in awareness of that and start working on that little by little, because for some of us, that's a really big task to ask to be able to receive. Okay, and if you are one of them, and I'm working on my receiving, right? It's okay if you don't get it all the time, but next time, make that work. Be open to receiving. And as you do it more, it becomes easier and easier and easier. Okay. So one last thought on that. Think about all of those people out there who have millions of dollars. They are open and willing to receive, right? They are saying, yep, I'm worth it. I'm receiving that check for $1 million. Bring it on. So when you have to stop and think about whether you're going to take that compliment, think about that $1 million, right, that you could be receiving. All right. Start working on that. Let me know how it goes. You can reach me over on my Facebook pages at Julie YeagerWalker Medium or Your Time to Shine. I'm also available on my website at wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. All right. Right now, we are headed to the phone lines. We have Ashley in Rhode Island. Good evening, Ashley, and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. What can we do for you this evening?
Well, maybe a general, well, I lost my dad a year ago. Maybe, I don't know if you can see if he has any messages for me, or just a general reading, if anything you pick up on.
Okay, sure. I can do that. Give me just a couple seconds here to tune in and see what I can find out. And then I'll be right back with you, okay? There'll be just a little moment of silence as I'm doing this.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Ashley. So your dad is here, very strong energy. He's been waiting to talk with you. It's interesting. I feel like I feel like I'm wanting to cough or choke or something. He's showing me that there's something that needs to be said. from you to another person, and you're holding back. And he's saying that you need to speak your truth. And you need to be honest with yourself on that truth. He's showing me that he's here and he's supporting you. It's like he's got his arms wrapped around you and he's saying, it's okay. You can take that step and you can do this. He's giving you all this love and support to be able to speak your truth. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. He has so much, there's so much love for you, so much compassion that's coming from him to you. He's so proud of you. And he says sometimes he didn't tell you that, how proud he was of you. He just assumed you knew. And he says he's sorry for not expressing that in words or in some other fashion. But he wants you to know now just how amazing you are. And he's saying, don't let anybody tell you any differently. You guys had a really strong bond in this lifetime. And that bond is continuing on the other side.
We did have a strong bond.
He's saying
each other.
Yeah. He's saying, he hears you. So continue to talk to him. Continue to let him help you through everything and kind of navigate. He's saying navigate all those sticky situations. And he's saying, never forget, these are just little bumps. They may seem really big, but it's just a sticky, he keeps saying it's a sticky situation. But it's not going to be this way. It's not always going to be this way. Okay. So just get through this. Just get through this and navigate through this portion.
Is he with my mother-in-law? Would you be able to tell me that?
Yes. Short answer, yes. It's very interesting. He says that they are connecting. They do connect, but they're off doing their own things. They're off helping others, and then they circle back around with each other, right? That's kind of how they were in life too, right?
Yep. Yeah.
They were off helping others and doing their thing, and then they would circle back, Yep. They had a really good relationship in that respect. And actually, that's what he's telling me, respect. That's the biggest thing. You've got to have respect for each other in your relationship.
That sounds all right. That sounds like something you would say.
Yeah. He's like underlining respect. Like he's emphasizing this. They were really, I don't want to say they worked hard. They did work hard, but helping other people out was just like, it looked like a lot of work from an outsider's perspective, but it wasn't for them. It was very easy. And they gave a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, you are that same way. You give a lot. And you don't give yourself.
I get that from my dad.
What's that?
Everyone says I get that from my dad.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. And he says, you don't give yourself a pat on the back. You need to stop sometime and just say, wow, I am awesome. I am great. And give yourself a pat on the back. He's kind of chuckling, on one hand, but on the other hand, he's like, I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's important to recognize what you do for others and how you help them, even in the smallest ways. And you may not think that you help them at all, but you're changing their lives, he says. He's just asking the question. He's kind of standing there and he's saying, well, what do you want to know?
Does he see me when I go visit him, or like the one, like before I'm a very spiritual person. I'm like a red bird, like when I see a red bird or cardinal, whatever, like a hawk or something, feather on the ground, and he would say to me, well, if a cardinal means this, then what does a blue jay mean? And then before he moved out of his house 2 days before he passed, and he said to me, I said, you cannot take your broom to your new house. That sweeps up all the bad stuff. You have to get a new broom. And I talked to him on the phone, and we said our goodbyes. And then he calls me 5 minutes later. And he's like, how about my vacuum? Can I bring my vacuum? Do I have to get rid of the vacuum? I'm like, just clean it out really, really good, because that sucks up the bad stuff too.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, he didn't really have any like what we would call superstitions, right?
Yeah, it's like he just kind of followed my flow.
Exactly. I was just going to say he went with the flow with whatever you threw at him, he just went with it, right? He didn't question it.
He would always say, easy does it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I'm giggling. He's very funny. He's a very practical person. And he just asked me, he's like, what did you do with that broom?
No, I bet you did.
Yeah, he was very, very practical. And there are things that he would kind of just go, I don't understand that. It's not practical to do that. Right. But he wouldn't not change it. He would just, he would go with the flow with it, and he would just go ahead and do it.
He always said, just nod your head and say, okay.
Yes.
Nod your head and say, okay. No matter if somebody says anything or you don't want to do something, nod your head and say, okay, and just get it done.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, he's saying, yeah, you just need to nod your head and say, okay. That, there's going to be these situations that come up and you're going to cringe. And he says, sometimes you just need to nod your head and say, okay. Rather than fight it. He's saying, pick your battles, choose your battles.
That's one of my biggest lines. I use that, I feel like, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, choose your battles, and choose them wisely, he says, because some battles are not going to be, some battles are just not going to be worth fighting. Okay.
Yep.
He's saying you've got that practicality and that knowledge, and it's very um, it's very useful knowledge, he says. Sometimes you have to have that practical piece, and then sometimes you just have to have that, nope, I'm just going to go ahead and just do this anyway, right? But you got to know the difference between when to go and when to leave it and let it go. Okay. He's saying it's time to spread your wings and fly. It's been way too long.
We always call each other when we see a hawk. So always there are hawks around the house. So you see like a nest or something. You see like 9 hawks around our house all the time. So it's funny that you said spread your wings and fly. And there was 2 doves, 2 all white doves that we've seen together.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of symbolism. He says that you know about him between conversations that you guys have had, and he's going to bring those symbols to you and forward. So like the birds, right? He's going to be bringing things like that to you so that you can recognize when he's with you. Okay. So when you see those things, when you notice a hawk or you notice a cardinal, right? Don't just go, oh, okay, yeah, there's a cardinal, right? Stop and be in awareness of that. Be in awareness.
What am I doing? What is the cardinal doing? Yep.
Yep. Because he's bringing these little messages to you, right? To bring you the comfort that you need, to bring you the hope. He's saying the hope that you need. So, definitely take note of some of these things. And you're going to know. You're just going to have that sense, that feeling that he's with you. Okay?
Yep.
He's saying that the other day you felt like you wanted to pick up the phone and call him.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's when you also know that he's around.
Down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when you also know that he's around. When you get that urge to pick up the phone and call him and share something or talk to him about something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are all little messages that he's sending you to let you know that he's around. Let me see what else he has to say. He's bringing up baking. Have you been doing a lot of baking, or did you guys bake together?
Well, I always used to cook for him, and I would either send him a plate over to his house because we live right next door to each other.
Okay.
Or I'd tell him to come and eat.
Okay. There's something with dessert, with baking, or was he like a big dessert person, like a cookie person?
He loved ice cream. Yeah, chocolate ice cream.
Okay. I just feel like I want to go get a dessert. Like I want to go get like a cookie or something. It's like he had a little bit of a sweet tooth.
Yeah, he did.
So he's acknowledging that he really enjoyed that part of life, right? And you provided that for him. right? And he's very thankful for that. Yeah, he really enjoyed, he was like big on life, right? And really enjoyed life. And he just wants you to be able to move through this, move on, and be able to enjoy life just as much as he did. To see the beauty and the magnificence in everything that you do. He's really underlying, he's emphasizing this for him, this is a big message to you. Actually, he's kind of stepping away a little bit. So he's saying thank you. Thank you for being here. And he's so happy that he was able to connect with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
You're very welcome. And we're actually coming down to the last few seconds of our show. So it was actually perfect. But I want to say thank you so much and Happy New Year to you.
Yes,
and I hope
thank you.
I hope you have a wonderful 2023.
You also. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good night.
Oh.
All right, that does it for me, everyone. The first show of 2023 in the books. We did it. So join me next week. I'll be here again, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time on Your Time to Shine. Again, if you need to reach out to me for a personal reading, you can find me at wingsofsoulswithjulie.com or my Facebook pages of Julie YeagerWalker Medium or Your Time to Shine. Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you again next week.